Hello, welcome to Keep It Dirty, a podcast where my guests share their why behind their personal story, living functionally through our ever changing environment, and how they are impacting our world locally and globally. I am your host, Leslie Dowling, a certified functional nutrition and lifestyle practitioner and public speaker, helping companies jumpstart their path to increase revenue and productivity through restorative health techniques. And today it is a pleasure to introduce you to Mary Dougherty. She is a self made entrepreneur who owned and operated the Nicole Miller Manayunk Boutique from 1994 to 2022, with a second location at the Bellevue in 97. Mary's career spanned over 30 years in fashion. So it is a pleasure to have you on Keep It Dirty today. And I'd love to hear more about all that you've been doing, Mary. Welcome.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm very proud of you. This is wonderful that you're hosting this podcast to share not only your journey but other people's. And I think it's really helpful to hear other stories of women that have come along the way, whether they're 25 or they're 75, and have found health and wellness to be a part of their success. So thank you for inviting me.
You are welcome. My gosh. So we go back a long time, years ago, when you gave me, right, just a few, when you really gave me an opportunity to give me a job at Nicole Miller. And I think I was part of the original group from the first way back when.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. The energy, I was just blown away with just the way that you just embraced all of us and empowered us. And I would love for you to share with our guests some of the things that you've been doing over the past 30 years and how it's shifting and changing and what you're doing now with the community and all the philanthropic work that you're doing.
Well, I think if we're lucky and fortunate, and not just lucky because we create our own good fortune. But when I was younger, I was thinking about this recently because the founder of Canyon Ranch had passed away, Mel, Zimmerman. And I went there when I was 25, actually with a friend who unfortunately had lost her parents. And we went on a journey and a mission to this place that no one really knew about, but was really focused on health and wellness. And I didn't know anything about it. All I knew was, crunchy people, did healthy stuff, and cool people did not. So after a week at Canyon Ranch, it was life changing for me. I started on a journey of learning about, how to integrate. I started running. I started doing yoga. I started eating healthy. And in turn, my career actually at the same time, I was a wholesale sales representative in 10 states. I was representing multiple designers when there wasn't any women in the industry. And so I started traveling. I found my lane, and I found a level of success that I'd never had before. So I ended up doing very well. I started building that business with my first employee, who you met at the event, Suzanne Sullivan.
Mm-hmm.
And I really decided that I was going to treat people the way I would have wanted to be treated when I was an employee. And so, we became successful in sharing the positive things and trudging through the negative and figuring out how to not let it hold us back. So, my whole journey, fortunately, it wasn't about what was in the rearview mirror. It was about what's in the windshield ahead. And then one thing led to another, an opportunity to open up the store, which we did in 94, the first store, the second store in 97. The third store actually was in Richmond for 5 years. And that was in 2000. And in the same time, I had 3 boys. And I was 35 with the first and 40 with the last. I also opened a PR marketing firm that I had for 5 years. And, so all these businesses, I had 5 businesses at one point, 3 children under 5, and I was 41 years old. How did I do it? I had great women. I had great people around me. I had people that were striving to be the best versions of themselves, whatever that was. And I always felt it was my job and my mission to keep on doing and trying to find out myself, what can I do today that can make it better? How can I have a level of success and bring everybody with me, so that I can keep on going and keep on working at that. And then ultimately, everything changes. So if you sit and cry about yesterday, you're never going to enjoy and appreciate and have gratitude for today. So right now, I closed the store in the end of August, and I am just rewiring, and I am looking at opportunities. I'm training for the Broad Street Run. It's a 10-mile run. And actually, I went for a run this morning.
Wow.
And my knees are
Congratulations.
holding up. So that's in April. I am spending more time with my three boys that are in their 20s now, and it's really been wonderful. Um, I am traveling a lot. I am also volunteering and donating my time as well as consulting for a few people. So I'm really following. Fortunately, I can follow what I feel is will make a difference. I don't want to do things gratuitously if I'm not going to feel like I'm making a difference. I'm just not doing it because I have nothing else to prove in some ways, but I have everything else to do why I'm here. So I'm really trying to figure that out. And quite honestly, I haven't had time. I haven't had a summer off since I was 13. So I've worked,
Mm.
I've always been working, working, working. But I think what that does sometimes is it never gives you an opportunity to peel back the layers and say, who am I now? What is my purpose? Where can I take this and really do something good, or just pause until it makes sense. So right now, that's where I'm at, and I really am enjoying life. Thank goodness.
Yeah, you just exude this energy of, well, I always said that you just embrace the now, and you have, I really believe in the law of that relativity of what you put out there is going to come back to you.
Absolutely.
And, and that energy, of your tribe of women that you've always surrounded yourself with are just, not only are they grounded, they're lovely
Thank,
people. And I always admired that about you. And if there was one person that you could say was your role model, who would that be?
well, well,
Many.
I know your mom was for you. Um, I have to say there were so many different people that contributed to my success, my happiness, my um, torture sometimes. Um, I just really feel like it was a combination. My mother was really wonderful, but she had 8 kids in 10 years, and I watched her, know how to cook and clean, and schlep us to school, and I just didn't really appreciate it until I was 35 and I had my first son, and I called her and apologized. I'm like, I'm so sorry I was so mean to you. Now I know you were the genius. You were the one who was able to, keep everything going and, have it all. Um, and I had a few, I used to collect people. I always loved all different types of people. There was not one type except for good people, that they were good in their and who they were as human beings, usually had a sense of humor, you know. Um, but I am a product of so many people that helped me along the way navigate the challenges, the successes, the triumphs, the sadness, all of it. And so I think there were so many different women and men along the way that have helped me be the person I'm at today. And I'm not done yet.
That's what I love. We still are growing and evolving. As long as we have that heartbeat and that passion, and we can still do, and the wisdom that
Absolutely.
you have brought to the table from all your experience. So for the viewers, the listeners that are out there that are really trying to find their niche, their path, their passion in life, what kind of advice would you give them?
I I have to say, the past 7 months, if you think about it, I'm 62. So I've spent my whole life, even when I was little, I'd worked 3 jobs and, McDonald's and Dairy Queen and fashion boutiques and, you know, everything. So I really have never paused. And so fortunately, I financially can right now. So that's a big thing. If you have to work, you don't have that luxury of being able to pause. If you are working and you're trying to figure out you're not where you want to be, I think one of the most helpful things the past 7 months has been that I've been reading more than I've ever read in my lifetime because I felt like my whole life had been one way, that if I didn't start filling my brain with different things and a lot of different things, so it's not just self help or life in transitions or 4,000 weeks, it's also chemistry, lessons in chemistry, which was a fun read, or the art of living, or a book called Endurance, and it's by Ernest Shackleton. It's about an expedition that went to the Antarctic about leadership. I just read a book called Make Your Bed, and it's a speech that was given by an admiral about how simple things in life will lead you to success. So I'd say read as many books as people can offer you that were important to them. And that's really my source. It's not the New York Times bestseller list. It's so many people that I know from different aspects of my life. The other thing is to eat healthy. You really, and to sleep, because I didn't realize I was sleep deprived probably most of my life because I never could. So I still get up at, 7:30, 8:30 at the latest, but I get up when I get up. So I actually have been like, oh my goodness, this is what it's like to not be sleep deprived. Exercise and do things, something different every day that you wouldn't normally do. I mean, my sister's a caterer. I worked with her on a job because she was short one person, and she just kept on calling me saying, "Are you really coming? Are you really gonna help?" I said, "Of course." And I worked as if I was being paid, $1,000 an hour. I've gone to art exhibits. I went to a lecture last week of this really interesting guy, Matthew Desmond, who wrote a book called Evicted. I've also gone to a comedy show. I've gone to plays. I've gone to art exhibits, and I went to the Brooklyn Museum with my one son for a Terry Mugler fashion exhibit, and Christian Dior. So it's not like I'm running every day, but I am doing things I would have never done before, more because I didn't make the time or have the time. And then, and I'm spending time with people that I haven't really had the chance to. And so, I went to visit my niece in, where is she living? In California, in San Francisco, Mill Valley. And she'd been out there 10 years and I hadn't been to her place. And so, Lois, I saw her in
Oh,
City. I
awesome.
went to Sundance. I'd never been to that. Um,
Wow.
and I went to see my father-in-law, and, just again, things that are feeling real and authentic, that are just kind of helping me try to figure out what this next chapter is going to look like. And working with people, either volunteering or consulting, that really appreciate what I bring to the party. And a lot of people don't realize how many things, like, yes, I'm a mom, I raised 3 boys, I'm been married almost 35 years. I have done a tremendous amount of philanthropy. I've also run multiple businesses, and had, over 30 employees at one point, and created fashion shows and created events and I've spoken, a ton of different places. And so I have done everything, window displays and merchandising and buying and, and just, following the money, and collaborated with the mayor's office and the governor's office on different prints, and, just so many different things that, it's, I want to share that intellectual property, but I want to share it with people it'll be meaningful. So I think some of that's becoming clear through this, past 7 months.
Yeah,
but I'm not on a time frame. If it takes me a couple of years, or if I all of a sudden have an aha moment tomorrow, um, I just really feel very fortunate. I have a tremendous amount of gratitude for the fact that I'm not done yet.
love it. And so, should I ask this question? But what is the next thing for Mary that you're going to be doing, or what is on your bucket list? Something that maybe the viewers and the listeners don't know about you, that there's this hidden passion that you want to do. Is it acting? Is it performing? Something so out of the realm.
Oh,
Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm not sure. I'm not, I don't want to get pigeonholed into, that what I've been doing, my whole life. But, could be. I'm kicking around writing a book. So that is trying to figure out what lane, some advice. I have a niece that's a publisher, and she said, people try to cram too much in one book. You can't, you got to kind of figure out what, if you had to write your story and you look back at this time, a year from now, what would the story you'd want to tell? So, maybe it's really to other women that sometimes diminish their value. As you get older, there's like a lot of challenges there because, I remember the first time I walked into a room and somebody looked at my niece and not at me. Fine, but it was one of those like, oh no. That there are, things that you bring to the party, but things that you don't anymore. And so there's, again, health things. There is relationships that sometimes you outgrow, or, that you have to leave space for new ones. Um, you have life transition challenges of, do you want to continue to work? And if you need to, what can you do that you can make the kind of money you need? And what are options out there, not just the obvious, but what other ways that maybe you could? I think, again, when you all of a sudden you're in a transition, you need to make sure that whether you're 62 or 72, if you still want to be working or you still want to have value, you have to make sure you don't diminish your value, and that you put yourself out there in ways that make sense. So the book is a possibility. I don't know. I'm really, I have to say, I'm really leaving myself open to, I'm going to get through this 10-mile race and I'll see. I don't think I'll, I
Wow.
never say never, but I don't think I'm a marathon girl. You'd be waiting for me 10 hours,
But that's
Yeah, well,
okay.
I'm out there. Yeah,
You're out there.
from the last over the line. But there's I would love to do more traveling. I just find that very enriching, and even just visiting friends. I mean, it's really, it's been wonderful. I love people. I mean, I have to say that's something that I also need my downtime, but I do, I get a lot of energy from other people, and so we'll see. I'll let you know as soon as I figure it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, is there any hidden hobby or talent that you have that you could share with us that nobody else knows?
Uh,
Because nobody will hear, right? This.
hidden,
Inquiring minds want to know that
yes.
too.
Do I have a hidden talent? I don't know. I can't sing. Sorry.
Aw.
No, I really do. I have a hidden talent. I'll have to ask some of my friends what they think. Although, yeah, no, talent. I wish
Never
I,
mind.
I'm gonna have to find one so that I can answer that. But no, I think it's just I'm really great around people. I mean, whether
Mhm.
someone is sick, which is not a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people, one of their friends isn't well, they back up because it's very hard to deal with. So I'm very comfortable around all people, all ages. If you're not doing well or you've just lost somebody, I'm fine because I want to be there to share in whatever you support you need. So that I think, as I watch people not be able to do that and be very uncomfortable in those situations, I feel very fortunate that I can get in and help somebody out that way. Um, yeah, I play the piano a little,
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that about you. You see?
little,
Okay.
little, and I ride my bike a lot. That's another thing that I really love doing.
Yeah.
Husband and I will peel out on a Saturday or Sunday and go for 30 miles,
Wow.
have lunch somewhere, or yeah, I
Any great trails that you could recommend
um,
for people that
the
live in Jersey or Pennsylvania like we
Sourlands,
are?
the Sourlands is really spectacular, and people, you don't feel like you're in Jersey. It's funny. We'll go
Mhm.
out on a down into Frenchtown and
Mhm.
Lambertville, and you just feel like you're not in Jersey.
That's a great
There
area.
is a connotation to New Jersey. It's all cement or whatever, but it's not. It's a beautiful state, and
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
so many beautiful places to go, and whether it's Lancaster County or Chester County, or yeah, there's definitely that's my old stomping grounds. So
That's awesome. And before we wrap up, because I know you're on a time crunch, we all are in
of
this world.
course,
The wrapping, kind of circling back to functional health, the spiritual, embodiment of us always trying to just having that sense of somewhat balance, because like you eloquently said, when you spoke in a women's empowerment seminar, how we're always trying to find that, but sometimes we kind of dip, and before, I guess you were saying, the ball crashes to the ground, or we're always we're humans, so we're imperfect, nobody's perfect. But I just love to hear, has your ways of eating healthy and just exercising trickled to your three
oh,
boys the way that, ironically, I have three boys and they're finally getting it, the two of the three that are in their 20s and they're eating healthier? How has that shifted and changed your family?
that's a great question because I thought I was going to have all girls. So I don't know about you, Leslie.
Me too. No, me too. In the fashion business
And
and loves clothing. God was not, no, that was not in the game plan, or whoever the higher force is up there.
Exactly. So I will say that that was a shocker. And I believe if 80% of the time you're happy, 20% you won't be. And I remember exactly where I heard that from, but I've given that, there are times that, I always try to find center. And there's times where, just everything comes at you and it's all you can do just to kind of get back on your feet and get moving again. Um, so I feel very fortunate that I can keep that mindset. My boys, I think, by having a mom that worked, and I always did try to find the balance with them, they have a real respect for working women and for women that also work from the home. Women in general. I just really love how they are so respectful. They're not perfect, mind you. All the rooms are a mess, all that stuff. So please, they're definitely not. But health wise, they all really, fortunately, do some kind of exercise. They all work out. They all eat their fair share of junk food, but they're very mindful of, grabbing a tangerine instead of a bag of chips. They all cook. I had to learn how to cook during
Yeah.
COVID. I
Ah.
was the one who didn't, and my husband and boys all love to cook, and they cook healthy and chicken and vegetables, and so I think that it's so nice to see them making their choices on their own, not just what I'm cooking or we're having at the house, but they're really healthy eaters, and it has trickled down to them. So I'm glad because you never know. I mean, let's face it, whether whether anything, they used to get mad when the snacks were, more on the healthy side as opposed to like all the junk. But you know,
Hmm.
sodas in the house. But we do have juices, and they're high in sugar. But our one son really just never really drank sodas. So the answer is I feel very fortunate. I'm happy for them that that's a um, lifelong thing that they'll take with them and really
Yeah.
keep them healthy and happy and grounded.
Well, I just had such an amazing 25 minutes, half an hour with you. It's always a pleasure. And we could just spend hours
I
talking
know.
on amazing
It's been
topics.
a half hour, really?
Yeah.
I guess.
And so it went fast because, like I said, I love getting to know my guests and their why and what was their path in life. I always, as a little girl, would love to hear about people's stories.
Right.
And that is the coolest thing because we all have such interesting stories to
Absolutely.
tell. So,
And congratulations again on the podcast.
thank you.
Especially hearing that is that obviously that's been a passion of yours is to
Yeah,
tell someone's story. So here you're be able to realize that, and that's pretty cool. So congratulations and kudos.
thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And much success on your new endeavors.
Thank you.
And you will just be rocking it. And I'm going to be having my radar to see what you're
Right.
doing and how you're impacting, which you always have. And I wish you all the
Thank,
best and much love.
thank you, Liz.
So,
Same here. Take care.
so
Thank
you too. Take
you. All right.
care. And to everybody that's listening, just remember, have an amazing day. Keep it dirty. Get back to grounding with Mother
I love
Earth.
that, Nick.
So
So great.
people say, keep it dirty. What are you talking about? Come on, everybody. Getting your feet in the soil.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, for all my viewers, everybody that's out there, have an awesome day and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.